I don't know. It's not notable to me.
Like what? Like what did you not like?
Is he a superhero?
Quite frankly, I don't really care about that.
First, we gotta give me an iPad.
All right, am I gonna do this thing or what?
Are you filming now?
Yeah, it's filming right now.
Oh, this makes great blooper reel stuff, like I said.
I'm Holden Hardman, and tonight is the Avengers premiere, and so me and Nick Fury over here are all getting ready to go get some extra stuff, and we have Iron Man and the Hulk behind us, and Thor's joining us later. So we're gonna give it to you live all night.
All right, here we go. The moment we've been waiting for. You ready for this, Avengers?
Let's do some more nerd sh**.
Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today, we're concluding MCU Phase 1. We've had a long journey, we've had some emotions, we've had some disagreements, and I'm ready to end this. Matt, my prediction for you is that you're not gonna like this movie. Recapping from where we've been, Iron Man is your favorite movie, right?
Yep.
Jenna, what about you?
Captain America has been my favorite so far.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yep.
I'm glad you're on the correct side.
I am legit excited about this. I really am. I am. The buzz that you guys have created in the comments, I feel the passion regardless if I'm on your side or not. And I've had quite a few people saying, hey, Captain America does suck. So I appreciate you for agreeing with me. In all seriousness, I am looking forward to it. I appreciate the allure to these, and I appreciate that each one of them is so different as compared to some other series or some other movies that we've seen. I'm gonna try to stop saying and comparing to what we did in the past, but I like how different each movie is, even if the Hulk was garbage.
I asked a couple of my other YouTube friends, some of which were actually with me in person when we saw Avengers for the very first time in theaters. I asked them what they remember of watching it and what it meant to them at the time. And I'm gonna be putting some of their comments at the end of this video, so make sure you check that out. And check out their channels, they're great YouTubers and good friends of mine. I remember this being like such a big deal, such a big thing, because it's not just mixing different superhero characters for the first time. It's mixing such different characters like Thor, a Norse god, and Hulk, which had not been done well on screen up until this point. Iron Man and Captain America. I mean, this was a big undertaking. The last time I saw Avengers was probably about a year ago. It feels a lot different than some of the stuff that's coming out now. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it just feels different. And I'm excited to watch it. Let's get into it. Avengers.
This guy's still alive. Agent Romanoff? It's Captain Rogers.
Ma'am?
Hi. They need you on the bridge. They're starting.
Word is you can find the cube.
Is that the only word on me?
Only word I care about.
Not to men like you.
There are no men like me.
There are always men like you.
Oh!
Not today!
Last time I was in Germany and saw a man standing above everybody else, we ended up disagreeing.
The soldier.
We need a plan of attack.
I have a plan. Attack.
There's only one God, man, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
Listen well, brother.
I'm listening.
Power at 400% capacity.
How about that? Following's not really my style.
And you're all about style, aren't you?
I'd like to know why S.H.I.E.L.D. is using the Tesseract to build weapons of mass destruction.
I'm sure if he still made weapons, Stark would be neck deep.
Wait, hold on. How is this now about me?
I'm sorry, isn't everything? Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play? To lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you?
I think I would just cut the wire. You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Aren't authorized to be in here.
Son, just don't.
What have I to fear?
The Avengers.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Hulk. Smash.
Bloody bite. Puny God.
Just finished The Avengers. Matt watched it for the very first time. Matt, oh Lord, what did you think?
I got a lot of notes.
I saw you writing a lot.
I got a lot of notes. Probably the most notes I've taken. Jenna, you want to give your perspective first?
Well, no, I'd like to criticize your perspective. So.
Okay, here we go. It was a little over the top, but what do you expect? The clashing of all of them together. Captain America. Does he ever age? If he doesn't, it's okay. I'm okay with that. I know he was frozen, but just because you're frozen doesn't mean you don't age, right?
Yes.
While Captain America was frozen in the ice, he did not age. It just was like everything was paused. Like, have you ever seen those things about like cavemen being found frozen, you know, and they're like the same, and like mammoths being found frozen with like food in their stomach? Were you applying the same logic here that if you freeze a person, thawed them out, if they wouldn't have died from that, which they would have, if he had lived, he would be physically the same as he was back in the 40s.
In the previous video, I was very critical of Captain America, so I wanted to see how I felt this go around. He was very quaint, like he was just in the beginning, he was like, all right guys, I'm just happy to be here, very high-spirited, and I liked that about him. All right, when the old man stood up and said, there's always men like you, I was like, yes, I love that. It's such a message. That's such a message of like, there's always gonna be these bad people. The good has to overcome it and all that crap. That's so good. Hit my heartstrings there, hit my heartstrings. Captain America around that same time frame when he was talking about Hitler, you know, when there was a guy like you around, like, you know, I didn't agree. Good stuff. So Stark's intro to Loki was really, it gave you goosebumps. Like it actually gave me goosebumps when Stark came in because he heard that music just fading in, and there he is. He pops up and he's the man. Just really good. Captain America says there's only one God. That was a bold statement. I think even maybe in 2012, because he said that's when it was made. That was a bold statement.
Well, I think you got to remember that he's from the 40s. I think that was highlighting the mentality from the 40s of very conservative era.
I just said it was bold. I didn't say it was wrong. Whatever you believe. Stark and Bruce Banner had a moment there, and Stark really extended an olive branch and I think got a hold of the Hulk's heart for a minute, saying like, you should have died. Like, he really gave him perspective in how saying, like, you should be dead. That gamma radiation should have killed you. So I think giving him that perspective was really good, even if Bruce Banner didn't accept it.
Yeah. It's like you keep talking about your life like it's like this horrible thing, you just want to be rid, but honestly, you're still alive. So count your blessings.
That's applicable to everyday life for, I think, a lot of people. And that embodies a lot of what I believe in, of like, you can complain and bitch about everything, but like, there's always perspective. So I'm not throwing shade, but
Here we go.
Here we go. You are.
I like how the Hawk guy was just totally randomly sprinkled in. Like, he's just like, oh, yep, there he is. He's up in a nest. Like, we're just supposed to accept that. The Hulk had a backstory, but the Hawk guy didn't have a backstory. I thought that was kind of funny. Nick Fury, he clarified this whole superhero, are they a hero thing. And I think that some of the people are like, what the f are you talking about? Superhero and hero. They're all heroes. Because my complaint in the last video was, are these guys superheroes? You know, is Captain America really a superhero because he doesn't have magic powers like Thor? So, I got you. Nick Fury said, the Avengers are a group of heroes. However, it makes sense to me that all of these guys are actually, or most of these guys are superheroes that choose to be heroes. Tony Stark, I think, is the most evident of that because he is the most selfish of all of them. Yet he chooses to be that hero to these people. So I retract my comment about superhero versus hero and how that was a big deal. I think Nick Fury did a really good job at clarifying that. So yeah, they're all heroes because they choose to be. They don't have to be. I think all of them together, just like a quarter of the way in, I was like, this is good. This is good. Started at a 7, started ticking up, 7.5, 8, 8.5. I think I'm gonna have to give this like a 9.5.
Really?
A 9.5. The only reason it doesn't make that 10 is because you guys know me. Like, so much action and all that stuff. It was a little overwhelming, but it made me cry. It had heart. There was like some bygone Jim moments. Like, there was a lot. I said I wasn't gonna say anything about the other movies we've watched, but really, really, really good. I would watch this again. I really liked Avengers. This was really good.
I think they did a really good job keeping the characters in their character. Like, at one point, Tony Stark had a Black Sabbath t-shirt on. Like, there was all those details that they kept in their own character. I think they did a really, really good job of not having one person highlighted over another. So I hope each superheroes fans weren't upset about that. And they all interacted, so they didn't all love each other or hate each other the whole time. They ended up coming together at the end and having an emotional moment. Matt, my only comment, I don't know that we've said this before, is that why is it that everyone from another world has the same British accent?
Matt, I'm so happy that you like this movie, and I was not expecting you to. You know what's really frustrating about the way that you perceive movies is that you'll complain about Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and all this action going on. When we got into the third act of this movie, I thought for sure they've lost Matt. You even were like, oh, this is just Power Rangers. They're just like flying in,
Yeah, you caught that?
like fighting and stuff. I was like, Matt's gone. If there was any hope before, it's gone now. And then you're like, 9.5. I really just want to kill you half the time. But I'm very, very glad that we ended on a positive note. This movie had a lot of like fan service. People really wanted to see Thor and Hulk fight each other. The part where Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor are all fighting in the forest. Like, people were like wanting that. I remember very clearly people being like, I wonder if they're gonna fight each other or do anything like that. The spectacle in this movie, I think, is just like leagues above the rest of Phase 1. I think in terms of like movie itself that I just enjoy more, I think Captain America, the first Avenger, is still a little bit closer for me, just something that I kind of connect with a little bit better. But the action and like everybody coming together in this one was still so amazing. But I think Captain America still is a little bit higher up for me than this. And I wasn't gonna say that before, but after watching them literally back to back, that's kind of how I feel about it. But I'm not saying like this is like low at all. Absolutely love this. I love it all. So I reached out to a couple of my YouTuber friends. I asked them to tell me their initial thoughts on the movie and their experience when they first watched it. I actually saw this with a friend of mine who is gonna say a couple things as well. And I remember going to it, we dressed up and we had a lot of fun. He was Tony Stark, I was Captain America. I want to know about your experience whenever you first saw the Avengers, and let Matt know down in the comments below. What do you remember going to the theater, and do you remember what you thought of it? Because I remember very, very clearly. So let me know down in the comments below. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you want to see more fun content like this. We are going to go into Phase 2, but we might do a couple other movies in the meantime. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. take care.
It's one of those things that we saw, like, I think almost every movie together. When the Avengers movie came out, Nate, Holden, and I grabbed 2 other friends, Matthew and Dylan, and dressed up as the characters from the movie to go to the midnight release. I'm not going to say that our cosplay skills aren't the best, because clearly we were best in show, and that's kind of the best thing I think we've ever accomplished. But as of the movie itself, whenever I think of the original Avengers movie, there's one scene that I always think about, and it always stands out to me, and I think it's like the best scene of the entire movie, when that giant worm thing is coming through the street, and Hulk turns to it and then punches it in the nose. That was probably the coolest moment of the entire movie, and anytime I ever think of the Avengers movie, I always think of that scene. It's always stood out to me.
I was blown away. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It had the perfect balance of humor. It had the perfect balance of like nostalgia. It was amazing.
I personally think what puts Avengers in such a place in my heart is like the nostalgia that surrounds it.
Like unprecedented for me. As a movie fan, as a comic fan, the closest thing was X-Men. When X-Men came out, it was incredible. I said, oh my God, these characters, X-Men is like probably one of my favorites. And Avengers was that times a million.
I'm more of an X-Men guy. And fast forward to the release of the original X-Men movie, it did not feel like the characters that I knew and loved. It didn't feel like a representation of them or even comic book movies in the first place, right? 2008 rolls around, and where the world is introduced to Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man. And people fell in love, dude.
In X-Men, everyone wore black. In the Avengers, they wore what they wore in the comics. So the Avengers was something that, in my opinion, had never been done before. And that's how it felt to me when I first saw it. They did a great job. And sitting here now, in 2020 with the entire Infinity Saga done and finished, I can tell you with confidence that it's going to be fine. Disney is not going to ruin it. I totally would have. But yeah, this movie, I mean, that's all I can say about it. It's just incredible.
What? The dude frozen in ice from World War II is going to get together with a Norse god and this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde-esque Hulk? This stuff should not work. And we take it for granted now, but that's just a testament to how clever the writers and Kevin Feige in particular was in putting all this together.
Nate, Holden, and I grew up basically on the same block of each other, and we've all been like besties since we were like 13, 12, something like that. So that was kind of a big movie for us and a big moment. Holden, thank you for having me on your channel, and thank you all for coming to my TED Talk.